Rise South Africa has hauled the IEC to the Electoral Court over what it terms as an unwarranted exclusion from the national ballot paper ahead of the May 2022 polls. The new political entrant forms part of 5 political parties that have taken the IEC to the specialist court on an urgent...
Please send me the document. Let me look at it. Yeah, the judgment, whatever they've sent you, please forward it. Let me look at it.
So yesterday we had the court hearing our case, and we believe that they're going to give a ruling within this week.
I've just been called by Isaac from Operation Dula. He also had a court case with the IEC.
Your chances of actually getting back on, I imagine, what would you say?
I think they're very good.
He's just said that the court case has been dismissed. Yo. So the IEC has decided to group all our cases and respond all at once. Yo. Arise South Africa and Electoral Commission of South Africa. Having led counsel for the parties in the above proposed applications, having read the papers filed on record, the application is dismissed. Yeah. Reasons for these orders are to follow. Can we please let the leaders know that I'm going to send something in the National Working Committee group? I'll forward it to you now that you're going to send to all the leaders, please. Thank you. And just inform them not to share it for now so that we can just manage the situation. I've just received judgment on our case. They're saying that it's dismissed. Yeah. Okay, let me just take a walk. Think about what we're gonna do.
I think it means a lot of things in the South African context. It means that you have to explain to people that believe that the people that are leading them at the moment have their best interests at heart. You constantly have to convince them that they deserve better, that the country should be moving in a better direction. It also means that you need to understand the traumas that they've been through as a nation, the things that the nation has actually been through, that a lot of people in this country have suffered a lot of injustice, a lot of things that have really put them back in terms of land ownership, in terms of finances, in terms of the wealth distribution of the country. So being a leader in South Africa really means that you must come up with a compelling vision that can move the country forward, that people can look forward to, people can wake up in the morning and aspire to, people can achieve something through believing in the vision that you would have brought them. And I think the most important part about all of this is that you really need to remind South Africans as to who they are and what they have and what they can become with who they are and what they have, that they truly can become the greatest nation in the world, the most powerful superpower in the world, because South Africa is the richest country in the world, and the people are some of the most amazing people in the world. By Friday, they've said that they want all political parties that are contesting the 2024 elections on the 8th of March. They want them to pay 750,000 rand. They want us to go before them and bow. They want us to beg so they can control us. They want us to beg them so that we can be quiet about this and that. This is the Arise South Africa bank account. And yesterday somebody said, President, show us all the transactions. We showed you all the transactions. Now today, we're going to go and look at how much people gave. And you know, when I saw this, I said, my goodness, we have leaders in this country. We have men and women that are leaders. Now, as of yesterday, when I did this live, we were sitting on 159,000 rand in the bank account. Wow, wow, wow. We are seeing 10,000 rand. You know, when I went home, I said, we are so close, but we can't call it too close because we need to pay that 300,000 for next year. And I said, leaders, let's continue to push. This is the last part. When I show this one, the ones that have been a part of it might just faint. But this is our last part. This is our proof of payment. Our proof of payment. We've done it. We've done it. We are truly the champions. We have done it. Congratulations to each and every leader of Arise South Africa. We've done it.
Senior Counsel.
I've given your number to that guy from Mpho because I was saying he tried to call me. So I said to him, look, you guys must talk so that if we take it further, we must do it collectively to try and save the costs here.
No, I agree. And I think Mpho, they also, because I think they are the only ones that had similar case to us, because the other court cases I think were slightly different from us.
Slightly different. I mean, they had nothing to do with, no, this is terrible. I've never seen any court doing anything like that. Yeah.
Sure. So Essie, what's the step forward? We meet with them, we decide.
Yes, I think we'll meet with them and we decide if we are going to go together. Then at least so that they can share the cost. But the most important thing would be to ask for reasons from this court, this other court.
Okay, all right.
The Electoral court. And then, I mean, it's crazy. And then we can try and do, at least they must tell us when the reasons are going to come.
Yeah.
The time is now running out,
And what do we do? I mean, on the media side, what should we be doing? Because I've been doing interviews just explaining what's going on. Okay, what do we do now?
Oh, you must, on the media side, you must just, I think, talk about this thing of a blanket order. It's wrong to approach it like that.
Okay.
And quite frankly, the IEC had no answer to our case. I mean, it was completely a hopeless thing. And then I think you must then say that we are consulting to take it further.
Okay.
Possibly to the Constitutional Court, but again the problem is that there are no reasons here. So we're going to try and push them for reasons. But I think you must just say, no, we can't, because it's clear that this is being done for the convenience of those people. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, thank you so much, Essie. Let me do so.
Your call has been placed on hold.
I think for me, the biggest thing about the journey that we've taken as Arise South Africa, I think it's the fact that we were bold enough to try our best. And I think seeing young people actually come out in numbers and support an initiative from the young and the old, to truly see the vision of rebuilding our country to what it's supposed to be, I think that will always go down as one of the greatest things that we've ever achieved in this nation. I think us losing the election, it's going to be a painful one. It's going to be hope deferred, because I think there's a lot of hope that people have for us to fix this country. But at the end of the day, we all have to accept what South Africans want. And if what we're offering them, if what we've said is not something that they want, then we have to accept that it's not what they wanted. But what we can't accept is us not having a chance to be an option for South Africans, us not being on the ballot paper, Arise South Africa not being able to be given a chance to actually be an option for people. I've just received a bill from the lawyers, and the court case cost us 970,000 Rand. So where we are at the moment, Arise South Africa doesn't have any money in the bank account. We've just paid the 750,000 Rand that we need to pay for the IEC. Now we've got this bill of the lawyer fees for 970,000. For where we are at the moment, it's impossible for us to be able to meet these demands, because we just too much money.
Yet another political party has been added to the country's political landscape ahead of the 2024 elections. Arise South Africa.
Now, the race to the 2024 elections is giving birth to new political parties. One of them is Arise South Africa.
Launched in Pretoria today by its leader Mpho Dagada. The new political party says it seeks to revolutionize politics and bring about a much-needed change in the country.
Its leader, Mpho Dagada,
He says the party was formed in response to inadequate leadership, a growing electricity crisis, crime, unemployment and other challenges plaguing the country. He says the party will contest the 2024 elections.
He says he's looking to bring South Africa into the technological race.
We have 1,357 crimes committed daily. We have 138 people raped in South Africa every single day. 83 people murdered in this nation daily. Corruption, we lose 300 billion per year. We believe that young people in South Africa are depressed as much as many South Africans are. The unemployment, the load shedding, the amount of crime in our country, the inadequate leadership, the electricity crisis that takes away about 80 billion rand every single month from our economy. It's about time that young people get involved, because where we're seeing the world go and what we're seeing happening, it's really not going to benefit young people. So the vision that young people have for South Africa is that they believe that this country has the potential to be one of the best countries in the world. I mean, let's be honest, as young people, we know things, we Google things, we use ChatGPT, we use the internet. We know that there's minerals in South Africa worth $2.5 trillion, not rands, $1 trillion in our land. Yet our leaders, year after year, we see trucks driving down the N3 to Richards Bay, driving down to sell to other countries. Meanwhile, the young people of South Africa don't have jobs. And young people are saying, enough is enough. If we do have the minerals, there are a few that are benefiting, and the young people are getting nothing. We all came together to say, let's put our minds together as intellectuals, as educational people, as policymakers, as authors, and let's actually come up with policies amongst young people to rule and govern and grow our economy, to ensure that the ills that exist are actually fixed by some of the many ideas. South Africa has the potential to be a leader in the fourth industrial revolution. We are able to grow homegrown 4IR technologies, robotics, artificial intelligence. When we talk about nanotechnology, medical devices, electrical vehicle manufacturing, there's no difference between Elon Musk and myself as a young South African. The only difference is that the leadership of the country, the pensioners, unfortunately, that sit in parliament are just not getting it. And we understand that because we recognize what they've done and we respect them. But we understand that it's important that young people, like they did in 1976, we arise and we take our rightful place. Because no one is coming to save us. I think it's sad, I grew up in Limpopo, and in Limpopo we're right next to Zim, and we get to see a lot of things that happen. And growing up, I always asked the question to say, why is the world quiet while Zimbabwe is going through what it's going through?
Rising food and inflation are likely to lead to thousands of starving citizens in Zimbabwe.
And an election in which Zimbabwe dared to dream has instead brought back its worst nightmares.
It's a war. This is the beginning of a war. This is the beginning of a war. People of Zimbabwe are tired. We are tired. We are tired.
And these were the times where, there were extreme sanctions. People were leaving. We heard stories of people that had been teachers for over 20 years and they lost everything. And people that were building their lives in Zimbabwe, and everything just came crumbling down for them. And I kind of looked around to say, is the world going to do something? Is something going to happen? And till date, we still see that the world doesn't care. They say they care. People go out there and they host a press conference, but really I believe care is action. And if we look at what has happened in Zimbabwe, it's clear that the world will turn a blind eye and people will just continue to say Africa is a struggling nation. South Africa is a poor country, they've made mistakes. And I think for me, that's the biggest concern, that no one's coming to save us as South Africans. No one's coming to help us. We have to do things right. We have to ensure that in the upcoming elections, we go out and we, the people, the voice of the people, is truly heard out there.
Up next, let's have a conversation with Arise SA's leader, Mpho Dagada. And I'll tell you why. Because he has accused the IEC of breaching Section 28(1) of the Electoral Commission Act. In fact, his matter was actually heard in court. Mpho joins us this evening to elaborate further. And as I said, this is a very contentious year. It's a big year for South Africa's democracy, because this is a year that you get to decide who gets to lead you for the next 5 years on the 29th of May. Mpho, welcome back. I know that we've had numerous conversations, especially about Arise, and more than anything else, the last time we had a conversation was about the anticipation of seeing your political party on that ballot paper, and of course the preparations ahead of the 29th of May. But it looks as though things are not turning out as they seem. What has happened?
So what happened is, on the 26th of April, Arise South Africa was on the national and the provincial ballot, and on the 27th we were then removed. We immediately took action and went to the IEC and did a march to try and find out what is going on. The IEC didn't have any answers for us, but they came back to say that it was an administrative error, that we were actually on the national ballot. So we then decided to take them to court, as when we sought answers, they didn't have any answers to be able to give us. And the matter went to court, and the court was able to hear us on Monday. And we're grateful for the courts, because we cannot allow a situation where the will of the people cannot be done.
Meanwhile, members of Arise South Africa staged a march outside the offices of the IEC.
Before the elections, we are being told that it is an administrative error and we've been removed from the national ballot. We find this to be nefarious, we find this to be unfair, and the fact that it had to get to us coming here to demonstrate in a peaceful march to say, why were we removed? We don't understand why young people in this country must continue to be subjected to these sort of things. It's a cold feeling. It's a very cold feeling, because you are raised to believe that the world is right, or the world is just, or justice prevails, or the truth will win. And when you see these sort of things happen, you get to question a lot of stuff. And I think for me as a leader, I've tried to put my mind to a point where we have to fight. We have to fight. We can't allow what is going on to be a full stop. It has to be a comma in the story of Arise South Africa. We have to fight. We have to fight till the end, and fight till we see the hope that all of us want to see in our country, till we see it become a reality. You can't build on someone who's already believing a lie. We must start by exposing the truth. Once the truth is clear, then we say, how do we build? I'm so sorry. Who? Oh. Why are they not logging in? You know, when I started a political party, I think for me, what I was thinking about was the positive effects that it would change within our country. Having traveled, having advised as sitting president, having advised the African Union, I understood the power and the potential of Africa. And I wasn't aware that when you run for politics, you're not actually running against people that love the country. You're running against people that benefit from the country. And I think that's been a very rude awakening, because we'd all like to think that everybody who's running for president or running a political party, they're doing so because they love the people, they love the country. And I think for me, the hardest part has been accepting that there are people who don't love South Africans, who don't love the country, who to them, the country is a business transaction. To them, it's them building their own wealth and them securing a bag. And I think that's been the hardest part, because we all would like to believe that the leaders that would stand up and say that they want to lead are people that are going to love the country or already love the country, or people that are going to act rather in the interests of the benefit of the country. But you begin to see that these are people that are acting in the interest of themselves and a few individuals. And it becomes scary when you think about it, because the things that people have said are true, that they are cults, money cults, and to them they want to take control of the country and ensure that nobody else destabilizes or gets them out of that position. And they just don't care what happens to citizens. To them, it's about their money and just becoming richer. So I think for me, that's been the hardest part, but it's also been something that has driven me to say, in a world that we live in, we can't always allow evil to win. Good has its place in this world and must win. We must arise from these frustrations that we all experience in South Africa. And we must truly rise to a new life.
What do South African politicians do currently?
The political leaders that we've got have turned politics into a terrible, ugly mess. That when young people look at, they see terrible, ugly mess. And to them, it's to say, I don't want to be involved. Load shedding has taken away jobs. Load shedding has frustrated. There is no South African that is not at breaking point. If as black people, we are watching white people fund all those political parties, and we know that there's been a history of apartheid in our country where white people were put first and black people were put last. Are we expecting that overnight everything has changed, that they're going to fund these political parties so that we as black people can become first? They saw it coming to say, oh, there's a generation of young people that are into tech, that understand how things work. These young people might give us issues in the future. Kill them quick and use electricity to do so. And really what it is we don't need politicians leading in this country. You know, politicians in this country are people that gather up people in stadiums and cause them to sing songs and cause them to be excited. What we really need is we need ideas to lead. And ideas don't really sit with the politicians. Ideas sit with the intellectuals. Ideas sit with people that are pragmatic about how a leadership system should function. And at Arise South Africa, we've strengthened that to say that we're not going to be a political party that's trying to fill up stadiums and go and collect money from certain places and come back and bust people down and give them food parcels and ensure that that's the order of the day. No, but we're going to allow ideas to lead. Ideas that young people have got to say, we want to implement manufacturing hubs. We want to implement certain things that will move our economy forward and allow that to lead. So I definitely agree with the Chief Justice, and he's one of the people that has advised us and guided us on this journey. And we really are in support of him and look forward to ensuring that should things change in the future, we see people like himself and his leadership coming back in this country to guide and lead us, whether it's on a mentorship basis, whether in whatever way that it can happen. But we honor and we respect people like Chief Justice Mpho.
Arise South African political party here collected the signature or Reconobaka national ballot or the Rebecca provincial ballot. Roller Arise South IEC channel Rawano Arise South Africa Ngango ihone ka the provincial ballot, but wadawa kwebona in all 9 provinces. Ma Richard Shekapala nationally Rawano rare hone mara rambut number inchiwa overnight. Rara kono butsaka IEC why Arise South Africa yo inchiwa hoite ani obelani. ndiane pala he rabona hore IEC ayo kono pa phenduli no fushea ra kono zibona hore kuti akhoto ri ko find out why Arise South Africa yo inchiwa ka national balloto mara ka province ikadziva hone. Yeah guys, so I'm Venda. So Parapara FM is the radio station we all grew up listening to in Limpopo. So whenever I speak Venda, people are always shocked because I think sometimes they don't expect it. I'm very fluent in Venda. I think I speak Venda very, very well. And I'm very proud Venda man. And it's not only Venda that I speak up to 4 or 5 languages, but I'm most fluent in Chivenda.
I think it makes me feel the anger that many that have gone before us have experienced. The likes of Robert Sobukwe, Nelson Mandela, Mamuini, Oliver Tambo, a lot of the greats that in their pursuit to freedom, they all continued to fight and they dedicated their lives to the fight.
We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination.
And now that I'm in this position, and I mean the fight is completely different, but it's still the fight to see the lives of South Africans better. And not only better, but from better to best, ensuring that South Africans are living the lives that they're supposed to live, instead of them actually just being slaves of capitalists that continue to take money out of this country. And I think for me, looking at what's going on, it's only a stark reminder that we all have so much to do. We all have to gather up together and sort of sober up to say what we see on surface level is not really what there is. What we see on surface level is just, these are tricks that they continue to play in order to ensure that we appease ourselves and we don't realize what's going on. You know, they give you the media, they give you the songs, they give you the TikToks, they give you so much to distract yourself that you don't actually see that while you're enjoying your youth, as they put it, they're actually taking everything away that is supposed to be building our nation. So it's important that we all realize that where we are as a nation, we can't sit down and keep quiet. We can't continue watching, you know, movies and series and TikToks and expect a change. We all need to arise from all spheres of life and hold hands together and truly fight this enemy that continues to keep majority of South Africans living in poverty, majority of South Africans unemployed, the rape and murder rate being so high in our nation, the injustice and inequality in our nation, and ensure that we're victorious in what we're doing. Ensure that we arise in such a way that we take our rightful place as South Africa and as Africa and become the global superpower that we're supposed to be.
I Am the Vision serves as a manifesto for Mpho Dagada's political party, Arise South Africa.
The book is a clarion call. It's to say that every single South African, you are the vision of what is to be done in this country. For too long, too many people have set aside and left politics to politicians. And we're saying, no, that's wrong. You're the vision of good governance and ensuring that this country becomes a better place. So we're calling on every South African to say, don't just go out and vote only. Participate in the election process. Be the party agent. Make sure that you're involved in a political party. Because for the country to become what we need it to become, every citizen must become the vision of what South Africa is able to be.
Well, Arise South Africa strives for a South Africa where poverty, inequality, corruption and despair have been replaced by boundless opportunities, unwavering justice and a vibrant democracy powered by innovation.
We want to put South Africans first. We're in a country where majority of South Africans still live in poverty. ownership of land is non-existent for the majority of South Africans, in action and in actually doing so.
This book outlines their plan and includes thoughts and ideas to address all aspects of government intervention needed to transform our country.
It's important that as young people, we don't just sit and watch this, but we ensure that we go out there and engage the political world. Ensure that we bring in new, fresh ideas and energy into politics.
I am the vision.
I am the vision.
I am.
I am the vision.
I am the vision.
I am the vision.
I am the vision.
So I've just done makeup downstairs. We were late. The lady couldn't put much on, but yeah, let's go. It's 1:15 and the interview starts now.
Case between the IEC and 5 political parties. Arise South Africa has described the move as an unwarranted exclusion from the ballot, while the IEC accuses ASA of failing to upload its regional lists. Party leader Mpho Dagada is with us for more on that. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on.
You need young people that understand how the 4th Industrial Revolution works, young people that are educated, that understand how manufacturing works, how industry works, so that we don't have the excuse of shipping our minerals and saying everything is too difficult to actually create. I mean, a simple toothpick is manufactured in China and sold back to South Africa. You can't tell us that young people here that are graduating in UCT, in Wits University, in UJ, where I come from, are all incompetent of being able to do these things. So young people are saying, give us a chance. We want to ensure that we fix the economy. We know South Africa's got potential to become a global superpower. Give us a chance and vote for us, and we'll be able to ensure that these things happen.
Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans. And the South Africans are majority black. It is the leaders of South Africa and their people, black and white, who have the majority responsibility. They must rise to it. Well, they are rising to it.
Don't keep quiet and watch as our justice system, especially when it comes to elections, goes in the direction it's going in. We plead with you to say now is not a time for you to keep quiet or pick sides. We ask for you to assess what is going on with us and assist us. We want to ensure that there is justice for every single person who wants to vote for Rise South Africa. We can't be a continent that is known that every time there is elections in Africa, there are always issues. We can't be a continent that is known that every time there is elections in Africa, they'll always rig the elections. They'll steal the elections. We can't be a continent where when young voices rise up and they want to see change in the nation, we get things like this that are thrown at them to keep them off the ballot paper. We can't allow this to happen. The only political parties that are currently represented on the ballot paper, they are all funded by the same people. It's the same people that funded the apartheid government. They funded those political parties on the ballot paper. We were the only political party that's there that's not funded by this white monopoly capital that we know. The one thing we're sure about is that there is a God in Africa. And the one thing we're sure about is that the tears of every African have cried for far too long. That Africans have suffered for far too long, and we kept quiet about it. We are not going to keep quiet this time around. Until the world can know of what is going on in South Africa,